Don't do it.
Hey, bro. That's not enough room. What are you doing?
I don't know.
That's a terrible idea.
Here.
Okay. As we promised on the last video, this week we are going to finish up our top 20 villains in the MCU. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Infinity War.
Oh, why am I here?
So we had the physical release of Infinity War this last Tuesday.
Yes.
So we are going to finish up our list today. So one of the things that people have asked me about Infinity War is who I blame for the snap taking place.
Here we go.
So first off, I want to say, don't worry, we will get to the number one spot at the end of the video. This kind of leads into it because the one that is responsible for the snap
Yondu
is is their number one spot. Okay? So there are 5 different options for the ones that are responsible for the snap. The first and the most obvious one is actually Peter Quill, Star-Lord.
Yeah.
You got the scene where they almost get the gauntlet off of Thanos. And Peter, he starts accusing Thanos. What did you do to her, with Gamora and all that. So he kind of messes up the plans of getting the gauntlet off of Thanos. So he's our first option.
Yay. Yondu.
No.
Diarrhea.
Stop.
Poop.
If diarrhea was involved, Thanos would have given up. Because who wants to fight when you have diarrhea?
He was like,
Okay, so number 2, Captain America. Steve Rodgers. Okay, so the option was given to him of allowing Vision to sacrifice himself to destroy one of the Infinity Stones. And he didn't allow Vision to do that. So if he had allowed Vision to do that, then right there would have been able to stop all 6 of the stones from being collected and would have been able to stop the snap.
okay.
So Captain America's number 2 option. The third option is actually Iron Man, Tony Stark. So with him, he had allowed himself to stay affected by what had happened in Civil War, not wanting to fight alongside Captain America, wanting to take things into his own hands. So he decided he wanted to go off and try to face Thanos alone. Thanos?
I don't know.
Alone. He wanted to fight him on, go meet him out in space by, himself. He wanted to try and stop him before he could get to Earth. If all of the Avengers had been on Earth with 2 of the Infinity Stones, the chances of them being able to be victorious would have been much, much higher. So Tony Stark, number 3. Okay, so number 4 is Thor. Thor's number 4. So Thor was upset about the events that took place right before the movie starts, kind of in the moments in between Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War. So with the destruction that Thanos did to the Asgardians, he wanted to basically kind of see the life kind of leave Thanos. Okay. He wanted to see that victory in the eyes of his opponent. So instead of they actually said the line in the movie, he should have gone for a headshot. He went for a chest shot. So instead of being able to get the quick win, he wanted to see that victory. So Thor is number 4, because if he had gone for the headshot, he most likely would have been able to stop it before it happened. Okay. Number 5 is Loki. Even though he was already on the list, he's still an option. Or
Is he dead?
One that was responsible for Thanos. Thanos?
Yes, Thanos.
Thanos.
Is he dead, Loki? I don't know.
So at the end of Thor Dark World, Loki did something to banish Odin to Earth. That's why at the very end of it, Odin turned into Loki real quick after. Okay. In Infinity War, the dwarves that made the gauntlet, he had mentioned that their biggest protection was the Asgardians. So in the middle of all of this, if they had protection against Thanos, then Thanos wouldn't have been able to have forced them into making the Infinity Gauntlet for him. And if he didn't have the Infinity Gauntlet, he wouldn't have been able to wield all 6 Infinity Stones. So if Odin wasn't banished to Earth, then the Asgardians would have been able to be there to protect them from having to make the Infinity Gauntlet in the beginning. So Loki is our number 5 option of the ones that are responsible for the snap. Those are the 5 obvious options. However, the one that's responsible and the one that is in our number 1 spot of the number 1 most destructive forces in the Marvel Universe is 4 out of those 5 were actually because of this force that's in our number 1 spot. Iron Man's his motivation was fueled by this.
Yep.
The original defeat of the Avengers back in Civil War was only possible because of this. The entire Marvel Universe, actually, like the movies and all that, were set off because of this force. It's something that has been present throughout the majority of all of the movies. So our number 1 pick for the most destructive, most influential villain in the MCU is, go for it,
Diarrhea.
revenge. Everything that the characters have had to go through, all the negative things that have happened to the characters in the movies have been because of being fueled by revenge. Obadiah Stane in the very first Iron Man, he let revenge fuel him because he was at one point responsible for leading Stark Industries. But then when Tony became of age, he let the revenge fuel him to doing what he did in that movie. So revenge it was there from the beginning. Revenge fueled Iron Man to fight Captain America to create that rift that eventually caused the Avengers to have their first loss.
The part in Civil War where Black Panther's talking to Baron Zemo is he says, "I don't have to do this anymore. I don't want revenge." And
that's a perfect summarization of the whole idea behind all of this is actually in this scene right here.
Vengeance has consumed you.
oh yeah, this is
It's consuming them.
We should just have the whole movie up here, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think we would get.
Don't let it consume me.
Anyway, it's summed up in that scene right there. Even in Thor Ragnarok, they kind of use it as a joke, but he calls his team the Revengers, and at that point they didn't lose, but they also didn't win in that movie. It was kind of a bad situation what happened to them at the end of that as well. So revenge is our number one most destructive force in the MCU. I think that's actually one of the reasons why the movies actually work so well, because it's something that in real life you actually have to deal with yourself. It's not just something that exists as like this super being in a made-up world. You know what I'm saying though? It's if you let revenge fuel you in life, then things are not going to end up working out. So, if you agree with the list, go ahead, leave a comment down in the comment section down below saying that you agree, and if you don't, then go for it and try to explain why you don't think that is a destructive force.
Yes, and put a comment down below who you agree with more, my list or his list. Bye, guys.
That's all we got for you guys today, and we will see you all next week.
I'm Broshy. I can't snap, guys, so don't make fun of me.
What is that supposed to be?
I can't.